Uhulubu operation was one of those rare successful police strikes against Russian organised crime, and it forced some of the mobsters to move south, here to Hungary and Budapest. And they brought their tradecraft with them. This was Zoltán, a Hungarian friend of Mogilevich, whose armour-plated Bentley didn't protect him from the anti-tank ammunition that took his life. Seres was the victim of the Russian-Hungarian turf wars, which have followed the old rackets as pestilence follows infection. In Hungary so far, over 100 gangland murders, 170 explosions, countless kidnappings, tortures and disappearances. Mogilevich made Budapest his second home in the 90s. His public profile was of involvement in the exotic nighttime world, and he established a local chapter of the ubiquitous black and white clip joint. But quietly, he also worked at various legitimate businesses, and the police left him and his girly club alone. This nervous Hungarian gangster, seen questioned here by detectives, may have been the first person with evidence to indict Mogilevich on the oil rackets. This is Tamás Boros telling all he knows. There'd been a dispute with the Russians over the oil rackets and they'd threatened him. Suddenly, detectives heard a familiar name, Sava, the nickname for Semion Mogilevich.
Everything started with a man called Sava. I think he's the one. He's unapproachable, and I think that he's involved in the oil scam right up to this very day. People I know have been up to his office on many occasions, but I've never taken part in any of the meetings. I knew they brought away with them $1 million, $100, $200, $700,000, something like these.
Who's Sava?
He's an older guy from Kiev. I've only seen him once. He's a big fat man with a big belly. As far as I know, he's the main link outward. He's a businessman who settled here, who has excellent contacts in Russia, particularly the Ukraine. He has very serious connections there.
From this interview on, Boros was already a dead man. A car bomb, the familiar smoke and flames and chaos and death. Tamás Boros and his lawyer assassinated. 2 passers-by killed by the blast. It happened in the middle of the tourist section of Budapest. The murderers must have known there'd be innocent victims. Mogilevich, a born capitalist and ruthless entrepreneur, has spent his life taking risks. Russians like him were just waiting for the historical moment